Well, bonjour, everybody. Good morning. I just want to say, let me think how to pronounce this correctly. Um, bonjour. Let me think how to say this. It's been a minute. Um, I'll say good morning. Look. Oh, good morning. Look at my little friend. That is a Charlie McCarthy ventriloquist doll. Um, they were used by ventriloquists in the late 20s, early 30s, and I've got about 9 of them. I just love them. So anyway, I'm gonna say, remember I'm in the witness protection program, so I can't show the after yet. So let me just fix the just. There we go. So let's see. Bonjour, mesdames bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, which means good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There she is. There goes Sebastian. I just literally woke up. I slept like a rock. My goodness, almost like somebody knocked me out with a hammer or something. My goodness. And I know some of you may be thinking, oh my god, she's always in a red t shirt. Yes, I love red. It's one of my favorite colors. COLOURS. That's how I spell my words. Um, but I must have, I don't know, 40 of them, black ones. I love a V neck. I think it just accentuates the neck. I hate anything that's crew neck. I feel like I'm choking to death. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's my teeth. There they are. There they go. So anyway, getting back to my little friend over here, I'll show you. There he is. Hey, Charlie. Good morning. Mm-hmm. How are you today? I'm doing good. How are you? I'm just fantastic. Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, Sebastian. So the way I acquired him, you know what? I'm actually gonna put him on my lap. There, I want him to be. There he is. I always feel like he's looking at me. Yeah, there's a little string in back, and his mouth can move. Yeah, I swear sometimes he's speaking to you. He has a bow tie on. Um, he's very dapper, but he still has his full suit on. He's in excellent condition. All his cloth clothing is still perfect, and his head is made out of a hard. It's not rubber. It's like a gesso. And I have two from Paris. They're French ones. I love anything that's a little what's the word I want to use? Let me think of the adjective. Uh, Not scary, but different, like me, because I'm very different. As I said, I wear many different hats. Oh, and speaking of hats, I look good. I have on a Paris beret today. I love wearing a beret, and I always tilt it to the left, give it a little attitude. Hey, twirl now, twirl, go, twirl, girl. You go, girl, twirl around, right? Right there, my little friend. I know. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Love him. So anyway, the way I acquired him, the first one. This is the very first one I ever got. Um, you know, I told you growing up, my parents were wonderful to me. They let me get away with murder. I mean, literally. Uh, oh, the uh, one day I will get into the things that my dad and I used to do together. My dad taught me everything I know. Yeah, like my poor dad. Rest in peace. He'll be going 2 years the week of Christmas. Yep, and I'm still not over that. Or my mom be going 8 years the week of Valentine's Day. So two holidays. So anyway, oh there we go. So anyway, the way I acquired him, right? The way I acquired you was when we moved to our new home in Trumbull in what was it, 1973. So adjacent to my bedroom was a spare bedroom. And when my parents bought the home, back then, they really couldn't afford much. So they bought the worst house in the best neighborhood. They wanted good schools for me. Okay, Trumbull schools, which I got straight A's all the way through. I was just naturally smart. I think that's from both of their sides. Straight A's. I would do my friend's homework. So one day my dad came home from work and I'm sitting at the dining room table and there's all stacks of neatly placed papers. And he's like, "My son, what are you doing?" I had to be, I don't know, 9 or 10 at the time. And I says, "Well, Dad, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing all my friends' homework because all my friends would get D's and F's and they knew I got straight A's. And I didn't even have to study. I was just naturally gifted and smart. I'm actually very smart. My IQ is like right below genius, believe it or not. So anyway, one of my favorite songs coming on, Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John. I love it. Let's hear. Place that no one dared to go. Loving, we call it Xanadu. Ooh. Oh, rest in peace, Olivia. She just passed. So anyway, my dad says, "What are you doing, my son?" So I paused and I says, I was always honest with them. I says, "Well, Dad, all my friends are failing, and I'm really smart." He says, "I know you're naturally smart, and you could think on a like a dime, like it's quick thinker." So anyway, I says, "Well, my friends at school asked if I can do their homework. English, math, literature, science, whatever." And he says, "Oh, that's very nice of you." And I says, "Well, I actually made a deal with them." He says, "Tell me about this deal," because my dad always liked doing deals. That's all I'm going to say about that. My dad knew a lot of different kinds of people, and my mom. hmm I says, "Well, I told them I'll gladly do your homework, but it's going to be gas, grass, or ass. Oh, nobody rides for free, bitch." He says, "That a boy, that's our son." And my mother said, "Good for her. Go, girl, do the homework." I said, "Ma, gee, thank you." And then she gave me a little bowl of ice cream with sprinkles on it for being a young enterpriser. So the next day I would go to school and I would carry a briefcase. And we had a meeting spot about 15 minutes before, school actually started. It was outside of the school. And I would wait. And if I said, "If anybody's late, I'm not going to be here. So do not be late." I don't do late. I don't do tardy. When somebody's tardy, that means their time is way more important than yours. I don't have time for that. And they would all show up. "Oh, you have my homework?" And I said, "Pay the piper, bitch." So it was either gas, grass, or ass. I really liked the grass. I think I liked the ass better. Yeah. Um, and the gas came later when I started driving at 16 years of age. Yeah, I used to make them pay me, or else. And anyone who didn't have gas, grass, or ass, the homework went back in the briefcase, and I'm like, "I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I told you how this works." And and they're like, "Oh my God, I need it." I says, "Can I go? Can I give you something in 3 or 4 days?" I would just give them the screws, the eyes. I would just look at them and not say a word. My eyes said enough, and I would purse my lips and walk away. They managed to come up with something in like 3 minutes flat and chase me down the hallway as the bell is ringing. I'm like, and I wouldn't say a word. I'd open the briefcase, just hand it to them, and I would say, "Don't let this happen again, or else I will not be doing this any further for you." So my parents totally had my back on this. So anyway, the way I acquired this my little guy right here, we moved to our new home in Trumbull. Like I said, it was the worst house on the best street. And when they bought the house, I was very afraid of it. Um, the woman that had lived there apparently had passed away, and the son, the only son, like me, inherited the home. And I can still remember when the realtor at the time, and she was from Honeychurch Realtors in Trumbull. The building is still there on the corner of Edison and Main, but I think it's medical office now. But it was like a house originally, and I remember on the front porch there was a plywood ramp going up the stairs. No lie. And we walk in, and there's all kinds of black Harley Davidsons in the living room, just inside. All the windows in the home were painted black from the inside, and the house felt very cold inside. And that's the home they chose because, as I said back then, they were, it was the first house they bought. They couldn't afford much, but my dad and mom transformed that house very shortly, and it was the most beautiful home on the street. It's true. Absolutely true. So adjacent to my bedroom was another bedroom that had nothing in it. It was just like a spare room. So after it was all done and remodeled, and with the dark cabinets back then, and the beautiful gold and lime green linoleum flooring they put in, and the wallpaper, that's how it was. So one day I go in this room, and there was a large closet. It was kind of like a walk-in, but it was wide, like left to right, and it was about 8 feet deep. So it was kind of a walk-in, but not, it wasn't like a walk-in closet like today. Because the house was built in, I think like 62, 63. So there's all there is old old wire hangers hanging on the rack, and so I sit down. It was all hardwood floors, the whole house. They had the floors all redone. I think my dad did them himself. They came out beautiful. So I sit at the end of the closet against the wall at the very far right, and I lean my back against the wall. And when I went to get up, it was a secret door that popped open. It was on like hinges from the backside. So of course, me being curious, I've always been very curious about things. I like to investigate. Yeah, I like to investigate people and things and events. And yeah, my dream car to investigate would be a 63 Lincoln, the car that JFK was assassinated in, the four-door convertible with the suicide doors. That's one of my absolute favorite cars. Lady Gaga has one that's all, it's not tricked out, but it's a little custom looking, but it still looks original. I mean, they're fabulous cars. I mean, they're huge, but I just love the look of those Continentals. So I really would love to have one of those. So anyway, I go to get up, and the wall, didn't have a handle on it. Popped open. I says, "Oh," to myself, "look at this. It's like a secret hiding place." It actually, you could walk in there, and it was like part of the eaves of the attic. And I go in there, and there was like a little light switch you could turn on. So I turn it on, and I clearly remember the light bulb was like purple. And I look around, there's a Ouija board. I didn't know what a Ouija board was. There was this doll, Charlie McCarthy. There were some burnt candles. There was a doll with no head. And then there was another doll, which was all made out of fabric. And it had a head, but there was no face on it. It was faceless. And but how old was I? 73. I was 7 going on 8. So I pick it up and I look at it, and I was just mesmerized by it. I didn't say anything to my parents at first. I used to go in there and play. I loved it. I loved the purple light in there. I just loved it. So I used to bring my toys in there and play around with everything, and I would, move on the Ouija board. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a checkerboard. I didn't know any different. So one day, my mother comes into the room, and she was like, "Jonathan, are you in here?" I'm like, I paused, and I said, "Hi, Mommy, I'm here." She's like, "Where are you?" I says, "Come into the closet." So she comes in, and she had to duck down a little bit. She's like, I'm like, "Here I am, here I am." And she's like, "Oh my God, what is this?" I says, "Oh, well, it's a secret room. Look at this." And she's looking at all the items in there, and she's like, "Oh wow, look at all this. Somebody somebody made this like a little, whatever, I forget the word sheet, the term, the adjective, I can't remember. And I says, Mom, look at this doll. It doesn't have a face. And I said, look, it has all your sewing needles in it. There was needles in it. So we all know what that is. Um, and she looked at it and she says, you know what? Just leave it in here. She didn't throw it out. She just left it. And when my dad got home later that day, she showed him the room, and they were fine with it. Everything stayed, and they used to let me play in there. And I'd bring my friends in there, and they were like, "Ooh, it's like a haunted house." And yeah, but like I said, when they purchased the home, the windows were all painted black from the inside. So I don't know, you know. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyway, so have a good day, everybody. I just love this. Look at him. He's got his full clothes on. Yeah, look at his. I just love his face. I always feel like he's looking at me. Yeah, do you remember the song? Was it from the 80s? What was his name? Rockwell. I always feel like someone's watching me. He's always watching me. Look, see his eyes. He's always looking at me. I love him. Right? Some nights I even put him in the bed next to me on the pillow. And I swear sometimes he's speaking to me. I don't know. So anyway, bonjour. Have a fabulous day. Merci. And make it a wonderful day. As always. Peace out. Have a good day, everybody, right? Have a good day, everybody, right? All right. Toodaloo.